So welcome to day 3 of the 1 week to create your movement marketing media kit with me, Iona, host of the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, where I say I teach you spiritual business success with me, Iona, and producer of the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network and founder of the Soul Legacy Academy. So welcome to this 7-day challenge. This is day 3. If you haven't seen the previous days, the intro into YouTube influencer marketing, and day 1 talking about what is a movement, how to create a movement, and day 2 was yesterday, which was how to build your author platform. And today we're going to talk about how to build your authority platform. So this is 1 week to create a movement. And I also talk about your #1 best-selling book and creating a book niche marketing model for that. And I call it a media kit for soul guided influencers. So there's a template around this video for you to download if you haven't already. If you haven't posted your homework yet in the Soul Legacy Academy in the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network community, then you can do that. There is a space to do that underneath each day. So this is a 7-day challenge. It's a YouTube challenge. And I do it annually. So the idea is to build your media kit, take your book, if you have one inside of you, whether you've written one or you want to write one, on a book media tour and actually get featured on podcasts, summits, radio, TV, etc. Really getting your gifts out there as a soul guided influencer. So let's dive in. I'm going to share my mind map again. And if you don't know me, and the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network is a place for soul guided influencers to show up, speak out, and serve deep. And so why I'm doing this is talking about building a movement, and my movement is called the Soul Legacy Movement. I'm all about legacy building rather than list building, right? And so legacy building your business around your book, which is a beautiful legacy to actually launch and leave, and with ease, grace, and flow, as I say. So the Soul Legacy TV, we have the YouTube podcast and the YouTube summit on spiritual awakening. I also have my book, which is The Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a soul-guided influencers compass to leverage your light work and lifestyle on YouTube. So you'll see links, everything that I've mentioned throughout the week, my book, a free chapter to my book, the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass and Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge. All of the things that I've mentioned, have a look down in the description or in the cards, and you'll see some great info. I do have an upgrade to this challenge when I do it annually on the 3rd week in September. So whenever you're watching this, come to the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast and click the notify me button to get notified when I go live with this challenge. And so again, the idea is to lead this challenge with with substance, basically, and so with a media kit. So this is the template. And each day throughout this week, I'm actually going to walk you through step by step how to make sense of it, and how to build your own author and authority platform. So today, again, is about the authority platform. Yesterday, we talked about building your author platform. And so it's more, so again, like pause me and go back. There's a playlist with each of the 7 days. And as I do it each year, I'll add on. So this is September 2022. So we do it live every year. So I talked about what's movement marketing media kit. I explained, I gave you homework to go and seek your life achievements and academic awards and post a video that's pre-recorded in the SBYN. And so that was the homework. And again, I talked about it in my teachings, gave you some tasks for what is an author platform. And so for you, showcasing where you've actually been featured in the media through the written media. And so today is what is an authority platform. So I am someone who loves leverage. I love it. I leverage everything. And if you haven't seen day 2, there's a lot of leverage going on. Meaning by leverage, I mean repurposing what it is that you do and utilizing your media platform by speaking. Oh, actually, do you know what? Let me just put myself here. By utilizing what is actually your media, meaning that you're taking what's in written and creating like video and live streams, like repurposing it for YouTube and vice versa. What you do on YouTube, repurposing it and letting that be part of your movement and your brand, being known for a YouTube podcast, a YouTube summit. If you've ever heard about summits, I'm going to talk about an example of a summit, Hay House summit, if you don't know what a summit is, and just repurposing. And I think it's becoming more common to know that you can repurpose. You don't just have to do a podcast or a YouTube channel. You can combine the two. And I love that. And so I can combine the summit and the YouTube podcast and the YouTube videos as well. So the podcast, the YouTube, and the summit is what I actually repurpose. So I'll talk about that more as we go through. So an authority platform is just positioning yourself as in being the authority, being someone who's an authority on your topic, meaning you've got an area that you believe that is your expertise and you feel called to serve people, to give back. And what I know and love is that our spiritual awakening, which is my YouTube summit, the #1 spiritual awakening annual YouTube summit. It runs October through to April on the 2 middle Wednesdays of the month. And I say they're binge watch Wednesdays because we have 6 shows over 2 days, 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 9 p.m. UK time. And so that YouTube podcast and YouTube summit is a way for me to position my book and my journal that is a companion to the book. And so I say I do YouTube interviews, right? And so not only are we combining interviews, but we can combine doing it on YouTube. So I like to think of the Soul Legacy TV and your YouTube channel as TV for your audience, for your subscribers, for your YouTube Soul Tribe. I don't watch regular TV, or very rarely watch regular TV. And so a lot of my Soul Tribe are the same. They don't really resonate with watching a lot of television. So we tend to use YouTube. And hopefully your Soul Tribe will use your YouTube channel in that way as well. So we're talking about being an authority, meaning something that you can create, write a book around, that you know like the back of your hand, and you can speak on for like days, and you can get interviewed on and feel really confident about it, without too much friction, without too much fear. Something where you've gone through your spiritual awakening journey, as I believe that we go through that spiritual awakening journey for a reason, so we can go on that spiritual ascension journey as well, that path, to learn to alchemize whatever it is that we've gone through, our core wounds, and just develop what I call a soul signature system, so we can build that author platform and that authority platform. You don't really feel like an authority in your niche, in your field, then you're probably not being as narrow, like really niching down, so that that actually I've done X, Y, and Z, and I absolutely am here, put a stake in the ground to support others through that. And so that's one of the biggest struggles that people come to me with, is having clarity on what it is that they actually do. I know that your soul, you feel called to do what you do, but like having clarity of putting that into words. And so I teach having clarity, confidence, systems, and strategies around your soul purpose. And that for me helps you with that framework of having spiritual business success. And a lot of people do say, I can do this, I can do that. But when it comes to it, not to be rude, you've got to put your money where your mouth is. It's like, well, yeah, I don't want to charge for that. Don't want to charge for my gifts. Or, they're downloaded through me. It feels wrong to charge. Well, you're not being an authority on your topic, because I know that what you have, if you package it up, it's not out there. I teach you how to package up your gifts in a way that marries all of the things that you do, combines it in your own unique formula, and then serve from that space. So I know what I teach, although other people teach different bits, they don't teach what I teach in the way that I teach it. And some people go, yeah, I do what you do. It's like, dude, you don't do this, or this. And I've put it in a way that twists into my own formula, I'm surprised I do what I do. And I absolutely can say I feel like an authority on my topic. And so I want to build a platform around the things that I love and the things that I do, the things that never feel like I'm working. All right, so that's kind of like a back story into what is an authority platform. So I have my first episode of the Soul Legacy TV. TV podcast and radio show, right? It was radio then. I'm someone who loves leverage. It kind of speaks for itself, all in one fell swoop, right? I was like, oh my God. So I came offline to help and heal myself first while I was going through my spiritual awakening after my son passed. And I came offline for like 3.5 years. And when I came back online, I knew that I had to position myself as an authority on my topic. And I did that with the first episode of the Soul Legacy TV in September 2019. I was talking about launching, leading, and leaving your soul legacy and doing it with ease, grace, and flow. I didn't know that that was the beginning of now. And so I started with 27 legendary light leaders who were gifted to shine. And I was talking about freedom and what I call my cheers to financial freedom frequency, having that contribution, that level of contribution, and having that level of finances. So you're an authority in terms of building something where you contribute and you get a monetary exchange, right? And you're good with that. In addition to that, the Cheers to Financial Freedom frequency model is about living intentionally, setting intentions while you do that. So I talk about, and I have a vision board challenge that's part of the building that authority. And yesterday I talked about my author platform, starting with vision boards on Easy and articles years ago. And so I love vision boards. I used to call myself the vision coach. And my first business was called Life Matters. It was life really does matter, and life matters in life. And so I built that about vision boards, and now I have my vision board challenge, which is a YouTube challenge. And so I've repurposed everything and really become really clear on how my spiritual awakening unfolded and what I've always done through that dark decade of the soul, I say, not a dark night. What I'd always done, I'd always reset my vision, I'd always reset my vibration, and it was revolved around freedom. The vision of having freedom for me in my light work and my lifestyle, the value of having freedom in my light work and my lifestyle, and that raising my vibration to be a vibrational match to that. So the Cheers to Financial Freedom frequency talks about contribution, talks about finances, and everything else in between. And that everything else in between I talked about on this episode and throughout the telechat show was contribution freedom, health freedom, emotional freedom, environmental freedom, relationship freedom, spiritual freedom, and financial freedom. And so I came back online as an authority on my topic, talking about it and having a conversation with others around that freedom frequency. And so now I have the co-author book series, and I have the Soul Legacy Journal, and I have the spiritual journal with me on the Soul Legacy TV, talking about each of these areas and journaling on them every single day. That I didn't know that was going to be part of the movement, but I just positioned myself anyway. I had zero audience. I completely started from scratch. I'd come off Facebook. I'd come off all of the socials. I actually deleted all friends and family. I had 2 Facebook pages, and I deleted, it was almost 2,000 people, about 1,800 people off my business stuff, and about 200 friends and family. And I was just offline. And I'm still working on like becoming the version of me, doing what I'm doing now, but in my head. And so I was actually cleaning homes. So when I came back online to position myself as an authority, I actually reached out. I was starting to build my Facebook friends list then, and I went into groups and I asked the group leaders if they wanted to be interviewed. When you put a summit, that was a telechat show I called it, when you put a summit together, it was on Zoom, and I streamed it onto YouTube, and I streamed it into Facebook. Now I'm just focusing on YouTube, but there wasn't all of this software, or StreamYard wasn't that I'm using now, wasn't the same as what it is now back then. So I just knew to use Zoom, right? And years ago, when I did my 49 Soul Speaker Summit, which positioned me as an authority then, I used Google Hangouts. And so I talk about the Google Hangouts. Hang on, let me see. I talk about the Google Hangouts on my channel. I mentioned Google Hangouts. Don't know if you were online then, but I was doing my summit and I did it on Hangouts. This is my first ever interviews on the Dive Social Summit TV. Let me just stop that. But this was my first ever putting together an interview series, right? Hello, everyone. And so I positioned myself as an authority back then, and I had 49 soul speakers. So if you hear me talking about the Dive Social Summit, that's why and that's where. Positioning myself as an authority. That was 2014, 15, right? And so I want you to know that this is not a new rodeo for me. So when I came back online again, I was positioning myself as an authority. And so that's what I mean. It's about having something that you can talk about. And I was talking about how to fulfill your life's purpose and get paid in the process, and sharing business, marketing, and lifestyle strategies for purpose-driven business owners back then. So it's kind of like evolved, but it started back then. So I did this interview, which I love. If you see the beginning of this interview, you will absolutely like it. Was so funny. Hang on. This is what happened to my guest. And radio show, the Soul Legacy Movement, with me, Iona, the founder of the SoulLegacyTV.com. And we have that is so funny. I don't know if you saw that, but if you want to go to that episode, it's episode 2. And my guest, Deb and Raquel, the screen fell down, and she absolutely looked like she wanted to have the floor just open up. But we just laughed. We laughed a lot. We had techie glitches and issues. I had set out the telechat show to interview 2 guests at once, and so podcast and radio show. And then this time around, I was like, no, I'm just going to do 1 guest at a time. And so that was the vision that I had, to position myself as an authority. And there's some beautiful interviews. What I did was easily position myself. It was really, really easy for me. When you are, let me just see what you can see. When you find a topic that you could talk on every single day, when you find a topic that you can talk on every single day, it becomes really, really easy. I'm about to put together the Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit. And as I said yesterday, I'll mention it again today. And I'll take you into the site, into the Soul Legacy Academy, so you can see how I schedule out my business and how that positioning, once you know what it is that you want to talk about and you know what is inside of you. I've done this for years. I started the #1 Spiritual Awakening I started the #1 Divine Intervention virtual event 7 years ago. And 7 years on, so much has happened, which I did not know would happen, and for me to be on that spiritual awakening path. And 7 years on, I'm scheduling out my business for the next 7 years, because I know that I've pulled all the pieces together, and this 7-day challenge is part of that. So Robin says, good morning. Good morning, love. I hadn't announced that I was going on live. I'm like, I'm just going to go and do it, because this challenge happens annually. And the week that last week when I was supposed to be doing it, like I say, my season in my life right now, I'm in the position of being a foster parent, foster carer, they say these days. And so it's a little bit delayed. So I hadn't actually announced it or what have you. So thank you, Robin, for joining me. So however long you can join me for, I really do appreciate if you're just listening along. For those of you who don't know, Robin Knott is our lead soul guiding instructor for the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network and the SoulLegacyAcademy.com. And Robin is the host of the Energy Healing TV podcast, YouTube podcast with Robin, and founder and facilitator of the EnergyHealingSchool.com online. So let me dive into this. So hopefully this will make sense, Robin, because you have been on this challenge with me the first time that I did this movement marketing media kit challenge in February 2021. So for me, obviously we know what happened like 2 years with the pandemic and different things, but when you are positioning yourself, people want to talk about it. And we know I'm really looking forward to having conversations with talking about what's gone on. I'm actually going to write it down because I keep forgetting to like really bring in everybody's stories, not only their spiritual awakening story, how their soul path has unfolded, but actually this global shift and this global awakening that is happening. And for me, I've had multiple spiritual awakenings, and one of them is realizing where I actually want to be, where my movement needs to be, where that message is inside of me, and all of the things that I put together with the Hangouts and then on Zoom and then on YouTube. I'm using StreamYard now and the platforms that I want to be on. And it's completely changed for me. I said Dive Social Summit when I first did this interview series. I interviewed Brenda Pierce. And then it was like, okay, well, I'd got Facebook leaders. And now I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing spiritual YouTubers. I changed the platform, being an authority on all the socials, or being an authority on primarily Facebook, and now switching to YouTube. But every time I've done it, it's always had the element of YouTube, but I just didn't realize how to use the platform the way that I do now. So Robin says, thank you for the shout out. You're welcome, love. And I will be talking about your challenge a little bit. So building an author and authority platform. So if you had not been here in the previous days, I mentioned Sasha Sabbath. She was an inspiration to me when I was doing my summit, and Sasha reached out to me to ask to get featured. A lot of times people don't know, well, how do I become that authority? One, how do I build my own YouTube summit? And I talk about that in the Soul Legacy Launch Blueprint author and authority program and mastermind, right? About being featured, creating joint vision partnerships. I actually paid $2K to learn how to just do one of the steps in my bootcamp, just do the fourth step. I say building joint vision partnerships. I paid $2K to learn how to build joint venture partnerships. I quickly stopped focusing on the list building and I focused on legacy building, and I stopped focusing on the joint venture, meaning between the two people, and started focusing on having a joint vision. So I was inspired by Sasha, and Sasha actually gave me her appearances, listed her interviews, and what Sasha did was a beautiful message, and I shared this in detail in my bootcamp of the exact message that Sasha sent me. I did ask her for permission at the time. So she reached out to me and she shared with me where she's been featured, right? So when Sasha is featuring, saying, basically she's positioned herself as an authority, right? By being featured, getting interviewed, having appearances on summits, radio, TV, and then it was Hangouts. And you'll have your author platform, your book, your articles, all the things to position yourself as an authority. The reason why you can be considered as an authority is people don't take time to do this, and they don't have a strategy behind what they're doing. They kind of throw spaghetti at the wall and hope it sticks. But we have that intention to follow a framework. And so I teach about joint vision partnerships, and we have the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network call on the first Monday of the month for you to come and connect, co-create and collaborate in joint vision partnerships. When I did that call and I had the community, the Spiritual Business Women Network, I was hosting it and holding space, and everybody just loved it. Everybody connected with who they needed to connect with at the time. And that was positioning me as an authority because I was creating a community and a movement around that with Soul Sisters. And I wanted to expand that. And so now it's about you having your vision on YouTube and actually wanting to get featured. A lot of the women were not positioned, didn't really know what they wanted to do in business, didn't really want to be visible. And I'm like, I can't hold space for this on a long-term basis. It just doesn't light me up. Hiding behind closed doors is not an option. And we do have a video visibility challenge within the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. And Robin will tell you all about being visible on camera, because I asked everybody to introduce themselves and Robin's like, oh, I hope to lurk. And it's like absolutely no lurking in this community. So building an authority topic, building your area of expertise around that. Hopefully this movement will help you. So being featured, what you're doing is showcasing other people's work as well. So all of these links lead to the host. So when I'm a host and I had 49 soul speakers, they were essentially creating a joint vision partnership with me, but also with each other. And it's beautiful. That creates that movement and that momentum. So I'm scrolling through this, and I think here it is. So Brenda Pearce was featured on my summit, right? And so I believe that when Sasha reached out to me, she did mention a few names who she'd been connected with, and probably how we got connected was through Brenda. If I go back and look at the actual message, then I would know, but I've edited it out as I've taught it, and I can't think, oh, well, that was definitely that connection. But the world, it's a small place online. So Brenda Pearce, the healthy, wealthy evolution, right? For soul alignment and activation, soul purpose activation. So I interviewed Brenda on my summit, my Dive Social Summit, and Robin, if you're commenting, I'll come back. So Brenda is such a beautiful soul. And I'm going to share with you how when you do what I call joint.
Hospital, and a palliative care person who was going around doing this therapy without us understanding anything about it, caused a lot of curiosity.
Brenda is one of the most beautiful souls, right? So I interviewed Brenda, and then what happened was Brenda interviewed me. I don't know if I have the link for that. Let me see if I have the link. And I talked about this tribe attraction with Iona, attract your soul tribe. I'm still talking about attracting soul tribe, but now I put YouTube in there. And so this was October 2015. How many years? 7 years. And so Brenda mentioned my Dive Social Summit. So when you have a YouTube channel, a YouTube podcast, or a YouTube summit, or both, when you do go out there and get featured, you're positioning yourself in a stronger position to be an authority on your topic, especially when you're doing an interview series. I loved it. So I talked about, and I didn't even know that this was on Amazon Music. I didn't even realize until recently, when you Google your name and I say, go, have a look at where you've been featured, see what your name comes up, and actually gather that portfolio, that resume, that media kit. So I came across this. It was like 7 years ago, but Brenda actually interviewed me, which we had a lot of fun. Brenda, it's just really, really nice. So watch this. So let me just make this a little bit smaller so you can see. Brenda had her own show, the E Factor Radio, and then Brenda and I had stayed together, and we'd had a journey, meaning our divine intervention, and our soul path and our spiritual awakening was actually having something in common that no mama wants to have. Brenda's son passed, as well as my son. And so Brenda actually created a book series and it was called The Secret Child Life After Loss. So I talked about this yesterday. And Brenda actually has her own TV show on Rogers TV. And this is Brenda here with the banner for the co-author book series. And this was interviewing 3 of the co-authors that were actually in that book, The Secret Child Life After Loss. So you marry your co-author, not your co-author, you marry your author platform with your authority platform. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm just going to check in with the comments. Change the platforms feels so much cleaner. It does. It does. It does for me. Yeah, legacy building. Robin says, first moment, the introduction video. You had it when, yes. When you did the video visibility, yeah. Robin actually talks about that on your video testimonial for me. You'll find that on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast. There's a list of testimonials of people that have experienced my work, and Robin's one of them. And yeah, Robin's like, holy moly, like, have I got to introduce myself in this group? I was hoping to lurk. And I don't know why it was that lurking, Robin. We haven't gone into great detail. Not to say you are a lurker, but it feels more comfortable to sit back, watch what everyone's doing before you jump in. And I will say that through our journey of working together, had you not have jumped in at that point, we wouldn't be creating this partnership now. And so I love that you did jump in. But yeah, your gut reaction was, yeah, I'm just gonna chill in this group, see what they're about. And I think that was the intent. We grew the group as part of the movement with my past co-producer to 1,200 people in 12 weeks. And so there was a lot of people, and I wanted to get to know everyone, and just having people resist being visible and being visible on camera. I'm like, nah. In order to build a movement, you've got to get on camera. You've got to get on live stream. Yes, audio, and yes, the written word. But you will have seen the people that you admire on video on YouTube for sure, right? It's more than likely that through your spiritual awakening journey, you've gone onto YouTube and you've seen people talking about it, or you've watched people be interviewed and different things. There's a standard that happens in the industry, and if you are not up to standard, you're not going to be positioned as an authority. You're just not. You might hope and wish it, but if somebody's going to do, like I do a 4-hour masterclass on my YouTube channel, if somebody's going to do that and just talk and just teach and just give value versus somebody that just says, yeah, I just buy my stuff, where are people going to go, right? So yeah, just saying. Robin says, oh my goodness, isn't that the truth? We wouldn't be in this journey the way that we are. I would still be hiding from the camera. and you'd started your YouTube channel, right? And Robin says, thank you to me, because now I don't feel like I have just a YouTube account. I feel like I have a channel. And so even with the resistance on camera, even not being clear with what your movement is, and Robin has a beautiful movement, a self-love movement, is self-love and self-healing in that. So it's that self-love through that self-healing journey. And you dedicate your movement to your brother as well. And I love that piece with the Soul Legacy movement. I just love that piece. It's bigger than I don't want to market. It's bigger than I don't want to be on camera. It's bigger than being an authority isn't about the ego saying, filling, I look at me. It's let me support you, let me show up, speak out, and serve deep. So hopefully that makes sense as well. Robin says, exactly, I had a YouTube account, not now I have a channel. I love that you own that, Robin. I really do. So there's ways that people are on TV, and I've seen that people marry their TV, although there's some censorship with the YouTube. So for me, I would rather do a YouTube channel than mess about with an actual TV station and all the commitments and all the things. But Robin, so Brenda is there. She posted on Facebook, I believe, yeah. And The Secret Child Life After Loss. And so she actually got us all in the paper. So as Brenda is getting one person, getting herself, she's getting all of the co-authors. I believe there was 18 of us. And I talked about yesterday that author platform. And this book, Secret Child Life After Loss, was in the making for 5 years, right? And so Brenda Pierce and Dr. Sue Denk actually created a joint vision partnership. And I've got a video testimonial of Dr. Sue on my YouTube channel as well for the testimonials. She had a session. So these were two people that I'd known for years. And then when they were doing their co-author book series, obviously they knew we had that in common. And so I was able to feature. And it was the year before Brenda had said, do you want to feature? Do you resonate with it? And I said, I'm doing something else. It was the year before, the year before that. I said, I was doing something else. I was doing probably my telechat show. And I said, I can't do it. And so I wrote my chapter in loving memory of my son, Donald Savio Media. I dedicate my soul work to. And then Brenda launched the book. Brenda and Dr. Sue launched the book, and it didn't get to #1 as we had all hoped and all been rooting for. I learned how to get my book to #1, and I said, look, there's ways, there's tools, and there's means. I'd love to support you. So we did. So we got on a call and we recorded the call, sent it off to Dr. Sue, and they were like so grateful. And so they set a new launch date. We chose the bestseller categories that they wanted to be featured in, that they were likely to hit #1 in, and we all became there's 18 co-authors that then became #1 bestselling authors. And a lot of people do feature in co-author book series for that reason. But if you don't know how to get it to #1 or your own book to #1, and I shared about with Lindsay Austin with The Flight of the Butterfly, she had launched her book in the pandemic in November 2020, got 5-star reviews. It's an amazing book, but didn't hit #1. And it matters when you are that authority with your author and your authority platform, hitting #1 on Amazon with your book, it matters. It shouldn't matter, but it does matter. It does matter for that level of positioning. All right. So I just want to say that it's not like, oh, I'm a #1 bestseller. It just is that position. It shouldn't be. It doesn't matter. You've got a book. But if you wanted to get it to #1 in the Soul Legacy Launch Blueprint, Author and Authority and Program and Mastermind, I will share that with you at the Mastermind and the Retreat level. So there's Brenda again. Our book is in the making news. So all of the co-authors, again, once Brenda was sharing with about one person or about the book, we're all mentioned. And that's what I love about co-authoring. And I've experienced it 3 times, and now I have the co-author book series myself. So I love it. So we hit #1 in 5 categories. As far as I know, I don't know if we hit more, but I checked it and I could see that we'd hit #1 in those 5 categories. They were my screenshots. They weren't official, but being part of the process and knowing what categories it was going to come up in, it was pretty easy. Let me just double check in with you. Okay, #1 bestseller. Yeah, it matters. It does matter. You might say, for me, taking your book on a book tour, on a media tour, taking a #1 best-selling book on a media tour sounds different. Yes, it's best-selling on Amazon. People hit the New York Times bestseller list, all the things. But hitting #1 bestseller in 7 categories in 7 days without having to write the book, now for me, that's something. So I do share how to do it in my 5-day YouTube from scratch challenge. I share a little bit more. I've got the recorded process in there, but in the mastermind is where I dive deep and I will actually walk you through. So I actually got on a call. I don't get on one-on-one calls anymore. So I got on a call with Brenda. I'd got on a call with Lindsay, and I'm like, let me just test this out. You only know it's a formula when you've tested it out. And so I have with 3 books, like my own book on pre-order, Lindsay's book, which was already, really great books and getting great reviews. So I don't want to take away from that. And then Brenda's with the co-authors. So it's just a beautiful process to position yourself as an authority. So I did that one. Okay, cool. So let me do this one. So this was part of my summit as well. Interviewing.
And work with expert guides for America. I was working on a job that I didn't enjoy, that I never should have taken because my guides actually told me not to, but I did anyway.
Like you do. So this was the #1 Divine Intervention virtual event. So I interviewed Dr. Monique Hunt, actually. And so she had a call for the book series, and I can't remember why I didn't go in it, but I didn't. But it was called Village of Pearls. A call for the book series were like really big at one point. But hang on. Let me see. So let me go to here real quick. I want to talk about, I'm just going to go on Amazon. So Brenda Pierce was actually, didn't put this one up, so just bear with me. Brenda's, so the Village of Pearls. So I've typed in Brenda's name and Village of Pearls will come up because she's actually co-authored in it. And Brenda Pierce with the podcast and then the book. So, when you're doing your author and authority topic, have a look to see what comes up. I don't know if Brenda's actually got a co-author page. I think she has. Not a co-author page, a Author Central, Amazon Author Central page. So these are the books that Brenda has featured in, and this one is the same publisher for the book that I was in, Empowered Women in Social Media. So we had that connection there, and she was actually featured in Dr. Monique's book as well. So I love that. So, you know, when you can be featured, and so The Secret Child Life After Loss, Brenda's got a video up there, different things that she's been featured in, positioning your author and authority platform. So this is Dr. Monique's, other people being featured. So it's just a really, really lovely way of positioning yourself. It's easy and effortless. It doesn't have to be hard. A lot of people make this stuff harder than what it needs to be. They really do. And so who have we got here? Positioning ourselves as an author and authority, marrying the two things is huge, huge, huge. And it'll save you a lot of time and money and energy along the way. So this is Robin, and Robin's being featured. I don't think I've got the sound.
So like all the icky stuff that came along with the blocks of feeling unworthy, you know, was affecting my ability to show up, my ability to serve, which then affected my ability to receive. Or if someone was offering me something, you know, I was putting my hand up and stopping the flow. Like, no, thank you. Because my inner, deeper blocks about myself, right, was getting in the way. Like, I don't want to put you out. I would.
Thank you, Robin. So Robin actually got featured. So Robin's Casey. I don't know Casey's full name, but Spiritual Talk with Casey. She has a YouTube channel. She's a beautiful soul. This is the first time that I was actually introduced to Casey. Robin's known Casey for a little while over the years, and just being asked, and Casey said, you know, I can go on as well. So just watching you on there, Robin, and being featured, because when we first met, Robin had randomly, while we were doing this movement marketing media kit challenge, for it was for spiritual business women then, but for soul guided influencers, had randomly been asked to do an interview. And you were like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And so now it's like, I think that was an audio interview, and now it's like a video interview representing not only Robin's YouTube channel and herself, but her area of expertise, position herself as a authority. And what you said there about blocking and not feeling worthy, oftentimes when we don't want to position ourselves as an authority, we don't go around going, I'm an authority on this. The way that you market and you put everything together, just people naturally perceive you as that. If you think about Oprah or Tony Robbins or Brendon Burchard or Gabby Bernstein or whatever, whoever, if you know those people, they're an authority in their area. They just have influence. And so as soul guided influencers, we want to have influence. We want to have soul client income coming in. If you're not positioned in any kind of way that differentiates you in the marketplace, it's going to show up in your bank account. It just is. So Robin has the Energy Healing School, which Robin was talking about on that interview. So Casey allowed Robin to actually share her system and her 7-day chakra healing challenge and her 5-day money blocks, and what she actually does. And you were talking about the chakras and talking about your system being the best you, and how you use the energy, and how you teach Reiki for empaths and use all the energy healing. So the Energy Healing TV podcast with Robin is that thing that's being featured, I say. So we get to sit behind the YouTube channel and let that be the movement that moves people forward. And then you say, if you like what I do on the Energy Healing TV, for me, it's the Soul Legacy TV, then come over to the Energy Healing School, and I have this course, that course, etc. Do you see how that works? That positioning as an authority, not only you being interviewed, but you're saying, if you go over to wherever it is, your website, my online teaching platform, I teach, not just a website. People think that websites actually sell. They don't. I focus on enrollment, right? So if you're being interviewed and you're being interviewed on your area of expertise, I started this with the movement of being featured on your area of expertise, being an influencer around things, the gifts that you know, and the things that you know like the back of your hand. Then it's obvious and natural that you take that listener, that reader, that viewer, your audience into that, I say, learning mode. And people are looking for you on YouTube in learner mode, typing in how to do this, how to do that. And on Facebook and other platforms, they're in lazy mode. you're interrupting them, right? By doing whatever, posting the fake life, right? So by being featured on Robin's area of expertise and then saying, you know, I've got a course, I've got a 7-day challenge. It's just a really lovely way to transition someone, giving them a call to conversation. People say a call to action, giving them a call to conversation and actually supporting people to the next step. If you like this, we can go deeper in my online teaching platform. And so for me, it's the Soul Legacy Academy. And so, Robin, I love that you have the 5-day money blocks clearing challenge, and so it really resonated with Casey and her audience. And then people that came to Robin, because we've got a joint vision partnership, and Robin drops my name on the interview, and I was in the chat as well, and Casey was speaking to me. Somebody came over to my channel, subscribed. There's a few people, I think, and then came over to my challenge, I think. Yeah, somebody came over to some, do you know what I mean? So that joint vision partnership, it's that recommendation and that referral. It's a really beautiful process. I am actually going to click into the energy healing school. I believe I am. I can't see the actual URL. 5-day money blocks clearing challenge, like I said, it's $33. And I was talking about on that 1-page plan throughout the week yesterday, the extensive plan where I said, you know, you can't really position yourself and go out there and get featured without having the back end of your spiritual business done. You can, but it's not helpful. And so I said my angel numbers, my $55 for my book-based challenge, 555 and 3,000, 5,555, and I'm going to do Robin's. So Robin's is 33, 333, 3,333, right? So this is what's going on now. So that's the self-study challenge. I went through that. It's really good because we have the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge as part of the Spiritual YouTubers Network. I know that part of what might be limiting you of positioning yourself as an authority is the money, right? And so Robin addressed that. She's got a 7-day healing challenge, which is happening this week, actually. And it happens the 4th week in September annually. So not only has Robin got that 7-day free challenge, it's a free challenge, you can go through it, it's really, really great. This is the second time that Robin's been doing it, right, Robin? And so Robin talks about the root chakra, the sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, brow chakra, and crown chakra, but does it in a way that fits into Robin's system. Anybody could talk about the chakras, right? But it's the way that Robin delivers it and how she brings it into the energy healing lifestyle. It's just a really beautiful dance of how Robin has positioned herself. So this is inside of the online training portal. When you're positioning yourself as an authority, it means that you walk your talk. You don't just talk it, right? So this is the challenge 2021, and it's free on the YouTube channel, but this is an online teaching portal where you can have students. The idea is to not list build, but legacy build and serve your students, right? And so this actually happened yesterday. So it's just really beautiful. So thank you, Robin, for all that you are doing. I'm going to come and see if you are commenting. I do want to actually go on to your healing portal, your teaching portal, which is here. And so because the move for me anyway is off Facebook. I know that you've still got your Facebook group, Robin. I don't know how long you'll have your Facebook group, or you just leave it up there and just see what people do. I know that energy, like you said, it feels cleaner. For me, I just made a clean break. It wasn't clean, actually. I kept going back on there. It's like, oh, I've always built my business on Facebook. And I was just like, let me make that transition. And so what you can do when you build a online teaching platform is create a post, create a discussion, create a community, a forum around your teaching, which is really, really beautiful, especially when you do YouTube challenges versus a Facebook challenge. If you don't know what a Facebook challenge is, I talk about that extensively in my 5 days YouTube's challenge, right, on the SoulLegacyTV, which I've talked about and I will talk about. So yeah, every day we've got a different chakra to focus on, and Robin gives us homework, got bonuses, and then Robin's actual daily lives journal with me on the self-love journey, and talking about and following on through the challenge. And so that's what I love most about creating a movement and positioning yourself as an authority. It's not about the money, it's about what have you done to move through your spiritual awakening, and how can you give that back by actually being an authority, by walking your talk. And so Robin and I say that our journals are living, eating, breathing, sleeping process that we developed and we keep developing and we keep showing up for, and we dip and we, you know, there's times when we don't necessarily, I don't necessarily journal. I think Robin journals anyway, whether she's coming on live or not. And if I'm not on live, I'm not journaling. I'm living my journal. And I know, Robin, you do live your journal. And I love that the chakra journal prompts how to clear guilt, the 7 energies, the best you. So I love that, Robin. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed to Robin's channel, then why not? So let me come over to and see if you've got any comments. Hang on. All right, let me just see. Thank you, Robin. Which one was that? I think that was the last one. #1 bestseller. Hey, I know. Oops. Hey, I know them. I don't see if you leave the comments too long. It's like, what? Oh, I can't say her name then. Was it? You can't say it for me. So that's Casey's name on this. I'm not sure I spelled her last name correctly, but Casey's Spiritual Talk, right? So you can have a look. Thank you. Yes, this is the second time we're doing the 7-day chakra healing challenge. Love it. And so, Robin, you did your chakra, and what we do is we do a lot of research. And then so I've done research, and I'm like, somebody has done like the chakra energy, you know, tried to do the thing, and it just doesn't land the same way. I'm like, nah, because you haven't got the back end, you haven't got the whole freedom, you haven't got the framework. When other people try and mimic and copy what you're doing, it just will not, it'll never work, because there's so much work that goes into the back end, right? And there's so much that actually builds it, knits it together, that you will never feel unworthy. You'll never feel like a fraud. You'll never feel like, you know, should I put my message out there? You can't weigh. And one of the things that when we moved more to the YouTube platform was Facebook just were not showing our stuff. Is like, what? We wanted to get it out there. So Robin had gone from, I don't think I want to be visible, to dude, where are my people? Which is lovely. Robin says, I haven't decided if I will archive that Facebook group or just let it hang and share some YouTube videos in there. Okay, cool. I know for me, and that'll be maybe true for you, and I will use LinkedIn and stuff. And I have gone on there when I launched the book, I went on there, and when I did somebody else's challenge, I'd gone on there, I'd done a retreat challenge and a media challenge. But for me, and I will always have my profile for like friends and family and a presence there, but actually posting for me, I know that the people that I want to reach, I don't know about whether it's relevant for you, Robin, or whether it's relevant for you watching. I know the people that I want to reach are in lazy mode on Facebook. So the people that I want to reach are in learner mode, searching for me, typing in. So the idea in the 1-page Spiritual Biz YouTubers plan is to get in front of the people that are typing in the search engine, in Google, in Amazon ads and YouTube ads, and build my audience that way. So I won't need to go and manually do Facebook or convince people or tag people or do all the things. Because when we built the Spiritual Businesswoman Network to 1,200 people in 12 weeks, trust me, I was doing a lot of work, and people thought that it was just seamless on its own. And when I, you know, taught, this is how I did it, go out and do it, there's a lot of people like, what? That's a lot of work. Or I've got fear around it. I don't feel like an authority. I'm not going to do it, basically. But we know it can be done. And I choose not to do it again, basically. The engagement happens at the Energy Healing School, though, not on FB. Okay. So when you say that when you're going to be there to support your students, it's going to be in the online training portal. I get that. Thank you. Yes, I live my journal, whether I share it or not, and journal in silence. Yeah, that's what I thought. For me, it's an active living and breathing and sleeping thing, because I have early learning dyslexia. Writing is not my forte. Actually, speaking on video, although I don't like camera, is. So yeah, thank you, Robin. So hopefully I've kind of like helped you see how you can go from being really fearful and not wanting to be an authority to naturally being that authority. And when you look at Robin's channel, you can see the energy healing lifestyle is her lifestyle. And so that took coaching between Robin and I, and teaching, and a lot of the things, and a lot of the building over this last year and a half, almost two actually, building things and going through life itself and saying, what is it that I really want to bring? And the pieces come, they don't come all at once. So don't worry about, I don't feel like an authority. I set the intention and the universe just fills it in. So this is the SoulLegacyAcademy.com. Again, the annual Spiritual Awakening YouTube Summit, right? So that we're going through that spiritual ascension. So we have the spiritual ascension after show party and the spiritual alchemy giveaway from guests, which I love. And so if you've ever seen a summit, it's a lot of hard work. And I wanted to do a YouTube summit, so it wasn't a lot of hard work, and I can schedule it out for the next 7 years. So let me share with you what that actually looks like. So this is a YouTube from scratch challenge around my book, getting it to #1, the book launch videos, that's all in there. That's all in a free preview. The 11 key principles that I cover in the book, that I will cover in the book because the book's not written. There's a book launch club for my book and your book on Signal and on Telegram. And then my boot camp. Oh, hang on, that's not even the one I thought it was. Hang on, let me see. I actually don't want to start talking. There's Robin's actual testimonial, which you mentioned, and the VIP day, which comes with the free chapter. And then so I actually did some videos.
Yes. Oh, lovely. I don't even have to.
So I didn't, that's the point where I found out I didn't have to even submit a transcript.
Do it. I didn't even know. So ready to upload your pre-order book manuscript. Yes, I have the file. I would like to upload it this time. No, I'll upload the file I want customers to receive later. Before. Oh, lovely.
So that was me going, yay. So I have to submit it May 2023. The 2nd of May 2023 is that deadline for me writing my book. It got to #1 on Amazon in 7 categories. And I videoed the process of what I chose, why I chose it. That's all in the free preview. I love it. I love it. And so that speaks to this 5-day challenge is very, very intensive. There's a lot of people that go, I found so much value, and then they don't implement it, or they don't get past day 1. Getting clarity on the direction that you're going in, building your author and authority platform. You've seen, oh gosh, my mouse battery's low. You've seen that this takes a lot of work. It's not an overnight, and it's just not an overnight. So this is inside the online training portal for each season of the annual YouTube Summit, right? So each episode is actually in there already, right? And on Audible, Anchor, SoundCloud, Spotify, Blog Talk Radio. I have not done that interview, but I can build a platform around it. And that goes to my Amazon Author Central page. That goes to Amazon Music. So when I actually go through, I can't do that. When I go through the interviews, I can upload it and have a radio show, have it on Spotify. I really do repurpose absolutely everything. I leverage everything. Once you've created your account, you can do it and you can just keep going. So this is set up literally for the next 7 years on Audible as well, right? It's just beautiful. So every episode, it's 42 episodes, October through to April, 6 shows in a month. So 3 shows in a day on the 2 middle Wednesdays of the month, right? And so all the episodes, I'm not kidding when I say I schedule out my business. So I know what I'm doing when I need to do it, right? And you can schedule this out on your YouTube channel, and people can get notified of when you're going to go live, and then they can see that when you go live, and then I will run YouTube ads to it. This is the first time me really doing that. So it goes from October through to April. And then each season, again, the next year, the 2nd season is laid out. Can't schedule out the StreamYard for each season, each of the 7 seasons, should I say, because it won't schedule out that far, but it does do a year, right, on YouTube. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. So 2024, 2025, 26, I mean, like literally it's scheduled out, and on the back end of my business, it's actually scheduled out for the actual precise date of when it will be released. Is that precise? Right. And I say I schedule out my business for 7 years, and people are like, what? So I actually teach that in the program and the mastermind, because it looks really easy, but there's a lot of orchestration that goes with it. And so I actually saw Robin do her free challenge, 7-day chakra healing challenge, in her online training portal, and I hadn't done mine separately. I've got upgraded calls for the 7 freedoms, but I didn't have the vision board challenge. And I actually said, you know what, let me do the replays and let me do the lives, let me do the replays and let me do the lives. So that will be there for you to go through for my challenge as well. Let's see if you've got any other questions before I dive even deeper. Let me just click on that. Okay, cool. Robin says, we'll be back for the replay. Miss Mal is awake. I'm ready for breakfast. Love you, Billings. Love you too, love. Thank you. So the YouTube from scratch challenge, it's a 5-day challenge. Again, it goes with my book. It's here. It's $55. There's a free preview. The masterclass is free, always will be. That's an intro into my world, and it builds me as an authority. And so I'm going to give a couple of examples for people in the industry that I really love. I talk about Hello Rod a lot. Oh, hang on. 1 minute. Close that down. I didn't want to. Oh, is that it? Why did I do it? Okay. So I think, yeah. Okay, cool. Showcasing the homework. So we've got teachings, tasks, and when we have talks. The talks is upgraded. I've got quite a few screens to share, so I'll try being as quick as I can because my Mac mouse is going up. So what I want you to do for your homework in the Soul Legacy Academy, in the community, is sort and showcase your author and authority platform. So you've seen, like, where when you Google your name, so if I Google Iona Made, right, what will come up on Amazon, right, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on the Dive, on Twitter, on the pictures, on Audible, blah, blah, blah. See where you come up, right? But have a look at what people are doing out there. This is the Hay House Summit. So you'll have seen summits in the traditional sense, but over the years, Hay House have been repurposing. So they've got radio and podcasts. The late Louise Hay, that is a legacy beyond the nth degree. And what I will do is go through a few of these pages and actually share with you what I actually have. So that was the E Factor Radio. Somebody actually reached out to me, Karen Camus, and she said, I always get some kind of confirmation while I'm actually doing something. So this was 6 days ago. So I noticed your new book, Spiritual YouTube from Scratch, A Soul Guided Influencer's Compass to Leveraging Your Light Work and Lifestyle on YouTube, a badass's influencer marketing success secrets formula to start a channel. It's coming out on the 6th of May. I know that, 2023. I see massive potential to reach people who need this book. Excuse me, why not sell thousands of copies? If you're open to having a quick Zoom chat early next week, please let me know your availability. I'll send you an invite. In the meantime, here are the authors that I've worked with. So letting people know, reaching out, I'm not going to, because I actually have a strategy, but this person knows that most people don't have a marketing strategy around a book. So I could click into that. I think I got Mentor to Millions, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, so this is the person that's given this other person an actual testimonial. Just saying. So I had the link to the Hay House Summit and it's over. But what I did was Google Hay House Summit. And so Hay House are on Apple Podcast, the actual summit itself. So think about your actual positioning yourself, Hay House Radio podcast, right? Obviously the late Wayne Dyer and the Heal Your Summit 3, Heal Your Summit, the first one, 2019, 2020, 2021, right? So I've got the Spiritual Awakening and a YouTube Summit. Once you've got something, a system, you just rinse and repeat it and get different speakers, different interviews. They've got on iTunes. So this is the episodes, Cal Gray, love Cal Gray, Raise Your Vibration with Angels. Cal Gray has a book on raising your vibration, right? And so have a look at what people are saying, like their titles, what you would like to speak about, what you would like to be known for. I'm going to go really quickly so my battery doesn't run out. The Heal the Summit, February, so it's on YouTube, basically. It's got these speakers doing, it's just an intro video of some of the people that you might know, just coming together in a joint vision partnership, I say. So I said that I would have a look, I'd show you inside of Temi, stripping out your video into audio. So what I did was strip out my boot camp. That was for my boot camp. It was a teaching that I did for my boot camp. So you can strip out your teachings, basically download. Let's see.
Hey, Soul Legacy Leaver, welcome to step number.
So the first lesson in the Soul Legacy Launch Blueprint is around your YouTube Soul Tribe avatar. This was, hang on.
Hi, welcome to the.
So that was the episode. So you can try, like, strip out your transcripts. I've done a lot, testimonials, different things, right, over time. All right. So positioning yourself as an authority, obviously author on YouTube, and this is what I teach in the 5-day YouTube from Scratch Challenge for spiritual YouTubers. Put your Amazon link, your LinkedIn, your YouTube podcast, that should go to the subscriber page. There's a little bit of a code that you can send people to the subscriber page. I'm live on the Soul Legacy TV. But it goes in the About section. Again, Amazon, right? Amazon, Audible, SoundCloud, Blog Talk, blah, 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 blah. All right, so that's that one. I want to go through these real quick. So in the movement marketing in the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, you can put your homework in day 3. So if you're watching in there, put it in day 3. We talked about Jessica Ortner, again, positioning yourself, yes, with your book, but as an authority by being featured, and interview the science and research, right? So a fascinating conversation that explores the most recent research around tapping. This lady, Mel Robbins, I absolutely love. She does her book, the 5-second rule, and now the high five habits, I think. So if you Google Mel Robbins, she is an authority on her topic. She actually has a YouTube channel as well, Amazon, her books, and she does a great job of taking the reader out of the book. So this person says, who did an article, I did Mel Robbins high five challenge for 30 days. So you're having that influence. So this is the 5-second rule that Mel Robbins talked about on her TED talk. It's about saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, literally. And then the science behind it. She's got the 5-second rule, the high five habit, take control of your life, kick ass with Mel. I love her work. She's absolutely amazing. She did a TED talk. Many people do know who Mel Robbins is. I talk about her quite a lot. She's one of the highest paid speakers. And she went from 0 to one of the highest paid speakers. All right. She's got the hashtag for the 5-second rule. She's built her authority topic, right? I'm gonna, that's Robbins. I think that is it. So what I want to do is share one last screen with you and share with you what Mel Robbins actually did with her book, which actually gives me inspiration everywhere that I go, or everything that I subscribe to. I want to see, oh, this is what I want to include as well. So this is in my really old inbox, and I typed in Mel Robbins, right? And so Mel Robbins has in her book, I don't know if she does it now, but this is like take 5 with Mel, right? And she says 31 sessions that go with her book. So watch the first session, and so this is the first session that she's welcoming people in. Welcome to the sessions with Mel Robbins. I think the sound is on.
Is this thing
She's so funny.
on?
She's amazing.
Okay, great. Hey, how are you?
So
it's Mel. I'm so
Robbins
excited that you're here. I feel so lucky to be here with you.
Yeah.
So first things first, welcome.
welcome to the beginning of your mentoring
I
with
love
me.
that.
I've got some
Mentoring.
amazing things planned that I want to share with you over the next 30 days. But first, I want to thank you for grabbing a copy of the 5-second rule.
So grabbing a copy of the book. So she's actually got different videos, another video.
Options, and you're going to be really attacked.
So take 5 of them. And then she says, watch this, our video blog is launched. That was 2018. And another author who is brilliant at this is Jen Sincero. She has a course as well that goes with the habits. So I just love it. So hopefully you did see that. I just love building that author and authority platform that says, hey, yes, I'm an authority, but I don't need to speak about it and go, I'm an authority. What you do is position your author and your authority platform. So hopefully you've seen enough examples of that. Do post your homework, do a video of where you've been featured, where you'd like to be featured, what podcasts. I actually teach to build a list. I call it a hit list for JV partners, joint vision partners, and really go out there. If you don't have all the pieces, or you're like, Iona, you've shared so much, my head is spinning, you're fire hosing me, I'm new, and then come to the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass, Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge. Come and download a free chapter of my book and get the free chapter VIP day. Definitely take the 5-day YouTube from Scratch Challenge, because it gives you the foundational pieces. And if you want to move forward with me in the mastermind, I would love to have you in there. So that is it. I shall see you on day 4. This was day 3. What are we talking about on day 4? Let me have a look for you. On day 4 is, what does an author and authority bio look like? That should be quite an easy one. And I have bonus training for you in my bonuses for the masterclass, and as part of the teachings in the 5-day challenge. So we're actually going to build out your bio that you can put on your media kit. All right. So I shall see you soon. Big love. Take care.